Hello there everyone, welcome back to the Coaxium Cantina. I'm Benjamin,
And I'm Aidan.
and today we are talking about Qui Gon Jinn in the Kenobi series, the possibility of Qui Gon Jinn in the Kenobi series. So for those of you that don't know, Liam Neeson, Liam Neeson, the actor for Qui Gon Jinn, did an interview with someone somewhere, and he was asked about the Kenobi Show. He said he would be up for it, but he literally didn't even know that a Kenobi Show was happening. So we are going to be discussing the possibility and the need for Qui Gon Jinn to be in the Kenobi Show. Aidan, the floor is yours.
Why, thank you, good sir. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm biased in any way, but I personally think he is. Now, let me give you my mountain of evidence for why he is. I think Qui Gon Jinn is going to be in the Kenobi Show because, wait for it, Yoda says it at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and if they don't include it, that ruins everything. So my evidence is if they don't do it, it will completely destroy everything that George Lucas has worked on, and it will ruin the entire Star Wars franchise, and everyone will be sad.
Right.
And
well, that's it for today's episode.
Yeah, but no, on a serious note, it was kind of the sense that Yoda learned how to become a Force ghost from Qui-Gon. So
yeah.
Obviously Yoda becomes a Force ghost as well, but Obi-Wan still needs that training. And
yeah.
taking a bit from our bit literally 5 seconds ago, it is genuine because it's kind of like a mandatory thing they have to include, because Yoda says it to Obi-Wan. He says that that he needs to commune with Qui-Gon, and that is how he would learn how to become a Force ghost. So if they don't add it into the series, it's kind of just turned into a throwaway comment in Revenge of the Sith, and then meaningless. So it'd be a bit pointless to waste it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I definitely think he was playing dumb. I think because he was involved in the Clone Wars, he must have known that both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen were coming back. And I think if Qui-Gon is to come back, it has to be Liam Neeson.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, he said before that he is more than happy to come back to play Qui-Gon. I mean, I think when the first rumors were coming out of a Kenobi movie at that point, it was Liam Neeson that said, "Yeah, I would be more than happy to return."
That's surprising. I know it sounds weird, but I wouldn't expect him to be someone who's that involved or happy with the role. It gives me very Harrison Ford vibes, where like he doesn't get nostalgia out of it. It's more like a film. But like when you saw that he still had his
I was about to move on to that point.
Yeah, his Qui-Gon
the fact that he started his Qui-Gon lightsaber in one of the American talk show interviews.
That's brilliant.
I think that, well, to be fair, I mean, like, what else has Liam Neeson done that's
of note,
as popular as Star Wars, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he did Batman, but he's not going to go back to Batman, is he?
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't say Ra's al Ghul is exactly his most popular character.
No.
And he's done about 15,000 Taken movies, so.
Maybe it is.
And he said that he would. Because I believe somewhere I read a few years ago that he had retired from action movies.
Yeah.
But he said that he was retired from action movies, but he would be happy to come back as Qui-Gon as a ghost.
Well,
and actually, in fairness, he doesn't actually have to be in it, because Qui-Gon, from what we know, cannot manifest himself into a...
The Mortis arc.
What about it?
In the Mortis arc, Qui-Gon appeared as a ghost.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm thinking. I feel like Qui-Gon will make an appearance because bear in mind, Hayden has a massive role apparently in this show, and we don't know whether that's as Darth Vader or as an Anakin flashback. And
Yeah.
in turn of that with Qui-Gon, we don't know if we might get a Force ghost of him and or flashbacks to something like Obi-Wan's training, him and Qui-Gon's time on Mandalore, which I would
Yeah.
really want to see.
That would be awesome. Which means we get a live action Satine,
Exactly.
something I really want to see.
I think that would be ace.
Yeah.
Because then, as well, that could be... I think I've probably got this timeline ruined a bit, but that could be a live action Mandalore before or if we get it in the Mandalorian season 3. Like we might.
I think the season 3 comes out before Obi-Wan.
Well, ruined timeline anyway. But I think with Qui-Gon, it's the same kind of case as Hayden, where we don't know if he's going to be a ghost or a flashback or both.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Qui-Gon was there with Obi-Wan on Tatooine, it would give him someone to talk to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, they both knew Anakin, obviously. Qui-Gon made Obi-Wan promise to train Obi-Wan to train Anakin.
Yeah.
So then, they can have discussions about where it went wrong or how, because I think a massive part of the Kenobi show for Obi-Wan Kenobi especially is going to be his regret for Anakin.
Yeah, and we also have a decent amount of, if I'm remembering correctly, I think this something I briefly saw, is that we actually have canon material of Obi-Wan speaking to Qui-Gon's ghost, or is it canon or is it legends? I don't know, but the concept at least has been explored.
Yeah.
So it is something that could be, I don't know, expanded on.
Does Obi-Wan talk to Qui-Gon in Mortis, or is it Anakin? I can't remember.
Anakin and Obi-Wan talk because it's when they get separated. When Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are in the cave for the night, Obi-Wan talks to Qui-Gon, and then I think before Anakin goes to the well of the dark side where he sees the Vader vision, Anakin talks to Qui-Gon's ghost there.
And this is why I'm not rewatching the Clone Wars.
And this is why I'm sad for having memory like this.
We're both in the same boat. But, yeah, I just think that it's so important that Qui-Gon is present in this series, even if it's just for one episode or something.
Because he is a major influence in Obi-Wan's story.
Yeah. My one reason why maybe he's not in it, is that it takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So they could say, well, during those 10 years, that's where he was communicating with Qui-Gon. And then not do the whole training with Qui-Gon thing again.
Wait, 10 years?
Yeah, they did say 10 years, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's a bit of a weird one.
So that's my issue with it. I feel like they're gonna say, well, Qui-Gon's already done his bit.
Yeah, that's the thing, if they kind of do it like that, then it's like what I was saying, then that becomes a throwaway concept and comment again. It's like, it's just exposition that, oh, Obi-Wan's already done the whole Qui-Gon thing off screen, and it's like, right, that was kind of something everyone was looking forward to.
Yeah.
So I'd say if they kind of do that, then I'd probably assume assumed that he'd be in flashbacks rather than anything else.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact place Yoda went when he was being instructed by not Kylo, Qui-Gon.
It was where was
But
it?
do you think
Dagobah, and then he went to Dagobah, he went to Korriban, and he went.
I'm thinking of the places with the wills.
Yeah.
I can't remember the planet.
I don't know either. I just remember it being like a giant star or something like that.
Yeah. But do you think Obi-Wan will go there then? And we might get a live action one of those?
I uh,
Because I
wouldn't
think,
expect it, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't shoot the idea down because I think seeing a will of the Force in live action would be quite an interesting concept.
well, yeah, because Star Wars was originally called Star Wars from the Journal of the Wills.
Yeah.
So I think to have a live action will would be a really nice reference slash nod slash other things. And I don't know how this would work, but there could be an area where Obi-Wan sees other dead Jedi as well.
It's a possibility because
Or I tell you what, because you know how Yoda had to learn how to become a Force Ghost, Obi-Wan had to learn how to use a Force Ghost.
Yeah.
But then Anakin was a Force Ghost, but he never learned.
Yeah.
So, what if Obi-Wan not only teaches himself, but also kind of transfers that into Anakin somehow as well?
Well, it's funny that you said that because I think canon-wise this is actually a thing. After A New Hope, when Vader strikes down Obi-Wan, apparently his Force Ghost did communicate with Vader, but obviously because he's a Force Ghost, Vader couldn't do anything, so he was hopeless to just basically to stand there and listen to Obi-Wan. So I wouldn't necessarily expect Obi-Wan to teach Vader how to become a Force Ghost.
Yeah.
But I want to say that after the fall of the Jedi and everything, Vader would have access to the Jedi Temple Library, and we have got canon stuff where we see him in there multiple times. So
yeah,
maybe he just comes across how to do it. To be fair,
but I'm thinking that maybe if Obi-Wan goes in there, does it for himself, and then kind of not begs, but asks the Wills to kind of keep Anakin's spirit.
yeah, no. I think that if it was maybe not to do with Vader, but the Wills, then I feel like they would definitely be a very interesting way to do it. But something I am interested in is, do you remember when Yoda visited the Wills and he had to fight the darkness within himself?
Yeah.
Imagine if that was something Obi had to do, because we've never really seen.
Mind blown. I've just thought of something. Also, again, imagine if, so you know they said that the rematch of the century kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Qui-Gon sets Obi-Wan on this journey. He has to fight his darker self, but his darker self is Anakin.
That's a cool concept.
Obi-Wan versus Anakin v2.
Or at least Obi-Wan versus Vader, because then I feel like that's the tricky way of how they could actually do it without it being genuine.
Yeah, because there is that thing where it's like, I mean, Dave Filoni definitely said it. Obi-Wan is more like Anakin's brother than he is a mentor.
Yeah.
So they're almost similar in every way, apart from every way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So while Obi-Wan would like to negotiate his way around things, Anakin goes straight for the aggressive approach,
Yeah.
which is
Trench.
the more darker version.
Yeah.
So literally everything that Obi-Wan does, Anakin does it in the more darker version.
Yeah.
So if Obi-Wan's darker self was literally Anakin, then that's how they would intertwine the rematch. Because otherwise, I don't see how it works. Really.
I think they could. I didn't think about it that way. I think this talk has really got us thinking about it. That is probably the easiest way to do it because obviously Vader and Obi-Wan, we assume, haven't seen each other since Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But
I still hope that Obi-Wan thinks Anakin is dead.
well, that's the thing. When it comes to A New Hope, Obi-Wan very much knows Vader is a person. He knows that he is alive. So
Yeah.
we have to ask ourselves whether or not we're going to get whether it is actually Vader, like the Cantina news broadcast that we talked about, how he just comes across seeing him by accident and realizes he's actually alive, or whether he feels he's alive through this wills thing that they create a Dark Vader.
Well, I think this could be another episode entirely, but I think that they have to go with the fact that Obi-Wan originally thinks that Anakin is dead, because Obi-Wan's task was to kill Vader. So I think if he knew that he would survive the fire, then he would have killed him.
Yeah.
But the way Obi-Wan walks off is kind of like, well, he's not going to get out of that, is he?
Yeah.
And the way where Padme asks, oh, is Anakin alright? And then Obi-Wan just doesn't respond.
Yeah. No,
like, if he knew he would survive, he would be like, oh, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, but that obviously wasn't the plan. I definitely do think that Qui-Gon is obviously the kind of basis for all of this because he was, as we know, like the first person to ever like commune with people after death. He was one of the first people who kind of became like one with the living force.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he does come into it, then we're going to have a lot more. I know it sounds stupid, but like an explanation of the Force. We're going to get a more just in-depth look at it compared to if he wasn't there, because then that would be a giant kind of explanation that people might want.
Yeah.
And that would be gone if Qui-Gon wasn't there.
Yeah, but I think another reason why Qui-Gon should be there is if we get the Obi-Wan Kenobi that's like, because obviously it's obvious that Obi-Wan thinks that he's failed Anakin.
Yeah.
So if like in the first episode or the second episode we get Obi-Wan on his own just saying like, oh, I've messed this all up and it's all my fault, blah 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 blah, and then Qui-Gon comes in and is like, look, I made the same mistake, kind of, being the master again, and saying, I made the same mistake, I forced you to train him, it's my fault as well, blah 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 blah. So then it's kind of like it gives a more PTSD version of it. And I think I saw a few people saying that Obi-Wan is gonna start hunting down any Jedi survivors, but I don't think that that's something that Obi-Wan would do.
No, because in my mind, he is very much dedicated to the protection of Luke. That's why all of these concepts we're coming up with is all well and good saying, but whether or not they're actually feasible theories is another thing, because we don't know how open Obi-Wan would be to leaving Tatooine at any occasion. We don't know if he's there from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, or if in between he goes off randomly at different points.
I mean, again, this could be another part where we talk about it, but could the Kenobi series also turn into a Vader series at the same time, kind of giving us an excuse to take a break from Tatooine?
I mean,
and
of course, I'm very hopeful. I would kill for a Vader series.
I just don't want it to take away from the Obi-Wan series. That's the only issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we can reference something like The Mandalorian, which is something that had its own unique story, a character we'd never seen before, and yet it picks and chooses when it involves big characters and even smaller ones with a lot of hype behind, like Bo-Katan. So, with regards to it being used in the Obi-Wan show, I think it would make sense for them to add hints of Vader or maybe like Palpatine throughout it. But as long as it doesn't rely on those bits of fan service, then
it would be cool if so like you were saying about the Clone Wars in live action. It would be cool if Obi-Wan had flashbacks to certain events that happened in the Clone Wars in the film.
Oh yeah, no. If we do get live action Clone Wars flashbacks, that will be incredible.
Yeah, but then start to realize that this like they should have realized it because Palpatine did this in this moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how did we not realize that? Yeah. And I heard another person say, I can't remember for the life of me who it was. It was a YouTube video I was watching. I can't for the life of me remember who it was. No, I can't. But they were saying that The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker, should be what they go with in the Kenobi series, where he's given up on the Jedi. He pretty much hates the Jedi Order at this point, and he's not willing to leave where he's at.
I personally wouldn't want that, because Obi-Wan is someone who is very much, as we say, kind of like different from Anakin, who was reckless and didn't really care about the whole light and dark thing. Obi-Wan was very well known as like humble and very one with the light sides, and I feel like they wouldn't do a Last Jedi Luke with him because he is very one with the Force, and it's not a case where he doesn't want to leave somewhere like Tatooine. It's a case where he's sticking to a promise he's made to watch over Luke.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they did the Last Jedi Luke scenario with Obi-Wan, that just wouldn't be his character.
But yeah, I mean, we can have further discussions about this again.
Yeah.
But I think for Qui-Gon, I think the main reason he's going to be there is kind of a companion to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He needs someone to talk to. And I don't know, it would just be cool. Like, you know how Disney likes to put their references in and foreshadow things and stuff. So I don't know if he goes over to the place of the Wills, and then I don't know, Qui-Gon says, if you go there, then I'm no longer allowed to help you, like he did, like Obi-Wan said to Luke in Episode 5 or something.
Yeah.
If you face Vader, I can't help you. Then Qui-Gon said the same to Kenobi. Just little things like that.
Yeah.
And I think Qui-Gon needs to Qui-Gon needs to revert back to the master status that he had over Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Not teaching him things. Well, obviously teaching him the Force ghosting, but more of as a comforting character more than more than a,
mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was Qui-Gon at the end of the day, wasn't it? He was a different Jedi. He obviously followed the path of the light, but he knew the kind of different way the Jedi had to take. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they could have discussions about how the chosen one prophecy was perhaps read in this way, and how it was, both their faults, blah 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 blah, to kind of create the character, the sympathy that Obi-Wan, the mental state that Obi-Wan was in at that time. And the best way to do that, I think, is through Qui-Gon.
Yeah, definitely.
As that Qui-Gon is probably the closest character to Obi-Wan at this point in terms of literal can get the closest to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And the character that Obi-Wan most trusts outside of Yoda, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't think Yoda's going to be in it at all.
No.
Because he's in exile, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't exactly know how far apart Dagobah and Tatooine are.
Well, Obi-Wan did know that he was on Dagobah because he told Luke.
Well, true.
So we can have another discussion about that. There you go.
Boom.
I swear I've hinted at about 4 episodes that.
It's a good thing we come up with these as we make them.
Yeah, we run out of ideas otherwise.
You do.
Right. Okay. Any other thoughts about Qui-Gon that you want to say?
Other than just giving a quick overview, I think that it's kind of a necessity that he's in it. But other than that, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, I think it has to happen.
Yeah.
There's no way it can't. And I think Liam Neeson was just playing dumb at that point. Yeah.
He wants to be there.
He signed that contract that says he can't talk about anything.
Yeah, but he's shown off all of his new on-set props.
Yeah. He's probably signing they probably call it the Taken contract. If you mention a word out the Kenobi series, then your daughter will be kidnapped and you have to do the whole Taken thing again.
Just in real life. He has to get his daughter back from Disney.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How
has it got to this? How have we managed this?
I have no idea.
Anyway, let us know your opinions. Preferably on Qui-Gon, not on the whole Taken situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know your opinions. We'll see you next time. Follow me on Instagram. At the Coaxium Smugglers. Blah, blah, blah. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Taken. I don't know.